manufacture this microphone, he can give us explanations that this is to transmit the sound into one place to another. So the best person to give an explanations about this complex machine, the human being, should be the person who creates this machine. And that person is the creator himself. And we have to agree rationally that the creator of anything would be the best person to describe the things that he has created. He knows for what purpose he has created the things. So our creator, the creator of this whole universe, the things that exist, the seen and the unseen, he himself described it in the glorious Quran about the purpose of his creation. That is the same verse that I have recited in the beginning of my talk from Surah Ad-Dariyat, chapter 51, verse 56. Allah the Almighty, the Creator, He says that وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ, that I have created the jinns, the unseen creation, the creation of fire or the flame, and the human, the creation of dust, إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. These creations have been created so that we must obey and worship Him alone. This is the purpose of the creation of the man and the jinns. Very simple statements, unambiguous, anyone can understand. Now, some person who may just rationally argue that, look, we don't believe about Creator. So whatever the Creator says, we don't agree with that. He says we have to worship Him or obey Him, the Creator, and that is the purpose of our creation. But we don't agree with the Creator Himself. So what is the purpose for us? So we will deal it later on. Now, with the same surah, Surah Dariyat chapter 51, before the verse 56, verse 55, the Creator Himself gives another statement that وَذَكِّرْ فَإِنَّ الذِّكْرَ تَنْفَعُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ, that you remind the things that is in the Quran to the believer and it will benefit them. And the next verse, it says that وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ, that I have created the men and the jinns only for the purpose that they should obey me and they should worship me. This is the things that we should repeatedly tell to the human, especially to the believers, because Allah knows who will obey His commandments, the believers. And the reason He also described, the reasons that we must worship Him. This word ibadah, it comes from the root word abd, which means a slave. So being a slave of the Creator, we have a duty and responsibility to follow the commandment of the Master, of our Lord, of our Creator. Whatever He describes in the Quran, He says we must follow that. And as a human being, His creations, if we perform any acts from the cradle to the cave, from the beginning of the life and the end of our life, if we perform any act based on two things, based on a good intention is to seek the pleasure of the Creator, and the second thing is if we perform the act based on the Creator and the Messenger, how they show us, then this act will be considered as ibadah, as a form of worship or as a form of obeying the commandment of God. This is what is the purpose of the creations of the human and the jinns. Very simple, organized, unambiguous statements. Now, the Creator says that He has created us just to worship Him, to obey Him. We may rationally ask why we need to obey Him. Why? What is the reason behind that we should obey the person who created us? Just to give another examples, like as a human being, we have difficulties in our life. Sometimes we face physical problem, so we need to consult a doctor for a particular disease. And if the doctors, they give a prescriptions and prescribed us some medicines, that you take these medicines 3 times a day. Morning, before breakfast or after breakfast, after the lunch and after the dinner. And you do these and these exercises, you'll be cured. And being a sick person or suffering from a disease, if we just follow the doctors, because he is an expert on the field, if we just follow him, we know that we will be cured and we will have a healthy life, healthy body. Our soul and the body, it also requires some medicine. So, like that, if we follow a doctor's advice, because he is an expert on that field, if we have a problem on our vehicle, we consult an expert mechanic, because he is the expert on the machine. He can fix the things and he can give us instructions how to run the vehicles. Likewise, the Creator, He knows what is best for us. The Creator of the human being, He knows what is best for us. So He also gives some kind of guidelines so that we follow that, it may benefit us. One of the discussions, there was a person, he was asking me, look, you Muslims, you say that we should follow God. We should obey the commandment of God. But now this God of yours, who created all the things, and He created the human beings, and He put all the difficulties and miseries in our life,